Hidden within the towering peaks of Yellowstone Park is a fearsome carnivore who was once almost completely wiped out of the United States and then made a dramatic comeback. Today, the wolves reign as top predators, but not without their share of skirmishes and sometimes full-scale wars. This is the Valley of the Wolves, and these are a pack of awesome animal survivors. There's nothing like an early morning wake-up call here in Yellowstone National Park. In the winter, food is scarce, and these guys need to hit the ground running if they're going to eat today. Lucky for them, this is Yellowstone's finest hunting grounds, the Lamar Valley. Thanks to the mountains that shelter this nearly 30-mile-wide plain from the worst of winter's weather, it's where animals flock to, including some 2,000 elk. This is where the action is at. The young wolves are always eager, and they're the first to charge full speed ahead. They've been hunting with the pack since a mere 6 months old. The wolf is built for stamina. It's out to wear the elk down and find its weakness. The youngsters might do most of the grunt work, but this isn't an all-you-can-eat buffet. The alpha male takes charge of the carcass, deciding who can eat and when. But there's no rest for these wily wolves. To feed a pack this size, they must kill again within 2 to 3 days. And if they don't, it's not just a few wolves going hungry. Ravens and magpies are so quick on the scene, they often beat the rest of the clan to the kill. They enjoy a light snack and steal some fluffy leftovers for their springtime nest. But scavengers need to be smart and savvy. After all, this is still the property of the wolf, the top predator in these parts. This timid red fox eyes the prize, but he makes a quick retreat. He's no match for the wolf. The coyotes, though, are a little cockier. They move in, slow and steady, naively hoping the wolves are too full to care. But they have no such luck. The wolves aren't out for blood, at least not this time. But they give the coyotes a good scare and a clear message. No moochers allowed. Instead, the coyotes must catch a meal of their own. Rustling around in the frozen grass, a plump little vole gets careless. And it proves an easy catch. The coyote couple settles down for the night. As mates, they share a territory in the valley and a bond that will last for life. A hardy flock of waxwings has been feeding on juniper berries all winter. And in Yellowstone, that's 6 long months. It's still cold and wintry, but signs of spring are in the air. A lone black wolf is looking for love. He's not just any wolf. He's the most notorious flirt in Yellowstone. He's traveled from a clan almost 20 miles away to court his sweetheart, who just happens to be the daughter of the old chief, the alpha male. The alpha male and his mate aren't exactly pleased to see him. But their daughter can hardly contain herself. They flirt, they sniff. It looks like love at first sight. Dad, on the other hand, has a different opinion. Enough is enough. The suitor makes a hasty retreat. He's a lover, not a fighter, and he wants no part of challenging the old chief. The daughter slinks home to her mother. But this is a battle parents never seem to win, particularly in the wild, during mating season. The next day, the Casanova is back for more. He courts the females, but what he really wants is to join the clan. An idea that seems to agree with all the daughters. Though this is the usual way a wolf changes clans, the alpha pair will not allow it. Together, they send the Casanova packing. Once and for all. As winter retreats from the Lamar Valley, a new threat emerges. A strong pack of 15 wolves from Slough Creek to the north. Already deep into Lamar territory, they're approaching fast and without hesitation. Usually, a fierce growl and a flash of the teeth would scare away trespassers such as these. But not this time. The Slough Creek pack is on a mission to take over Lamar Valley. They're young and confident, with tails waving high. They're challenging an aging pack that has reigned over Lamar Valley for almost a decade. The older pack tries to play it cool, but they're clearly outnumbered, 2-1. Eventually, the reigning pack has no choice but to run for their lives, overthrown by the young canines from Slough Creek. Once the rulers over this land, they now scatter throughout Yellowstone, destined for hard times ahead. For the Slough Creek pack, though, life is good. They've done what no other pack has been able to do in almost 10 years. They've taken the Lamar Valley, the greatest prize in Yellowstone. This calls for a celebration. For the Coyotes, it means there are some new kids on the block. They hope their new neighbors will be just as tolerant of them as the old pack. So when the slews make a kill, the male coyote moves in as usual. This is not a smart move. The new pack of wolves make it known, loud and clear, who the new boss is. The female coyote has no choice but to flee for her life, alone. She heads deeper into Yellowstone, and daunting, unfamiliar territory. A melting river becomes a convenient highway, despite how slippery it is. She treks 20 miles, and through grueling terrain. It's a brutal uphill climb, with some surprises along the way. She stumbles upon a fox scavenging a carcass. Luckily for her, she has the upper hand. The coyote is as scary to the fox as a wolf is to a coyote. The fox plays it smart and makes a speedy getaway. He climbs even higher into Yellowstone's mountains. Above the valley lies Yellowstone's high plateau, almost 8,000 feet in elevation. While winter is coming to an end in Lamar Valley, it's still in full force up here. Weighing a mere 10 pounds, the fox magically tiptoes across the frozen snow without ever crashing through. That is, until he hears the perfect pitter-patter of rodents up to 3 feet down. Delish. The coyote isn't so fortunate. At 30 pounds, she crashes through the crusty snow. Her strategy is to dig. And dig. And dig. Is this seriously worth it? Finally, a rodent never tasted so good. But if a coyote thinks it has it tough, it's no comparison to the bison. The only way the bison can get around is by using their heads as snowplows. And the reward for all their work? Meager morsels of dead, frozen grass. Yellowstone's plateau is far from easy living. Few other creatures seem to have the awesome power to survive this brutal place. A select group that includes the winter wolves of Hayden Valley. Unlike the other wolf packs, the Haydens didn't go to the lower grounds of Lamar Valley for the winter. They chose to tough out the cold on the exposed plateau. There's just one problem. Wolves here survive on bison, the largest and toughest prey to catch in all of Yellowstone. Though they might not make a kill as often as they'd like, the Hayden pack can still manage to bring down an entire bison. The little coyote, however, would simply be crushed. She's wandered into dangerous territory and quickly moves on. After all, She has more important things to tend to than some big bad wolves and giant bison. She has pups on the way and needs to find a den fast. Just when it seems winter will never end, spring arrives, and the snow begins to melt. Playtime breaks out along the Yellowstone River. Even the grizzly bears can't resist, and they slowly make an appearance for the first time in nearly half a year. After fasting all winter, he's got a bear-sized appetite, and he'll eat anything he can get his paws on. Back in the Lamar Valley, the Slough pack is also out to find a feast. Lucky for them, the elk are everywhere. This is an endurance test. Wolf versus elk. Who will falter first? It takes almost an hour of full-on running, but the wolves finally take their prize. But it's a bittersweet ending. When a grizzly gets wind of a kill, it doesn't hesitate to move in, and the wolves have no choice but to step aside. All the grizzly needs to worry about is another grizzly. But a mother and her cubs are a vulnerable combination. Even the wolf tries to give them a hard time. But she puts him in his place. And maybe even becomes a bit too sure of herself. Approaching a bear twice her size, mid-meal, takes courage. Well, it was worth a try. Mom and the cubs are still safe, at least for now. All across Yellowstone, life is perking up. The once lonesome fox is now busier than ever. Her thick coat disappeared with winter. And with spring came the most energetic, frisky batch of kits, who don't seem to have a care in the world. Full of energy, they spend their free time horsing around. After several cold months, summer finally arrives in Yellowstone. It greens up the high Hayden Valley and warms the shores of Yellowstone Lake. The entire park fills up with life and a little playful laughter. It's here that another little batch of new furballs are having fun. The mother coyote has also had babies, along with the bears and wolves. These guys are already 8 weeks old and will soon be learning to hunt. But not quite. In the meantime, Mom keeps busy trying to feed 3 very hungry mouths. She steals a nutritious little egg sitting in a nest. They always make the perfect snack. For the pups, though, food isn't their top priority. This lake is just too darn irresistible. As summer unfolds, the pitter-patter of paws seems to be everywhere. The landscape is lush and green, and the valley recovers from the wear and tear of winter. Even the exiled Lamar Valley wolves are thriving again, and they now have a litter of their own. Their numbers are growing, and their strength is increasing. That can only lead to one thing: preparing for a battle to take back their lost homeland in the Lamar Valley. In the far north of Yellowstone, summer is a fleeting season. Just as quickly as it came, it begins to fade. Elk herds start down from the high country, heading for wintering grounds. And the bison shake the valley floor with their fights to win over mates. It's not even the end of September, but on the slopes above Lamar Valley, snow starts to fall again. The grizzlies snatch their last snacks of seeds and berries, stripping the bushes clean before retreating to their dens. For a long 6 months, they'll leave the wolves in charge. From all across Yellowstone, elk roll into the valley for food and shelter. And on their heels come the Lamar Valley wolves, ready to take back their territory. It's a land of extremes, where all life is tested to its limits. And where time and time again, the wolves prove to be formidable fighters, becoming one of the top predators of the land, and one of the most awesome animals in all of Yellowstone.